Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we find out when companies are really cooking with gas and when they just burning the midnight oil. Today we re-diving into Jet.AI Inc. Its latest report, and it seems like they re-extending their cooking time. But is it for a good reason? Let S cut to the chase. Jet.AI Incorporated is hitting us with a current report on the 10th of October, detailing some important updates about a big merger. This is just a minor tweak. It is a significant extension of a deal that could redefine the company. This report covers events happening right around the 10th of October, 2025. It's essentially a check-in on a major business combination that has been in the works. For our investors out there, the company's common stock is traded under the symbol JTA on the Nasdaq Stock Market LLC. This is the company's primary share tracking. Alright, so what is the big story here? It is all about a merger agreement. Jet.AI Incorporated, which we'll just call the company from now on, has been working on a deal with another company called Fly Exclusive Incorporated. This deal involves a few moving parts, including a subsidiary of the company called Jet.AI Incorporated. Essentially, the company is going to distribute shares of Spinco to its own shareholders, and then a merger will happen between a subsidiary of Fly Exclusive and Spinco. After all is said and done, Spinco will become a part of Fly Exclusive. Now, this is where the 10th of October date becomes really important. On this day, the company and the other parties involved signed an amendment to their original merger agreement. Think of it like signing an addendum to a contract. What did this amendment do? It pushed back the deadline for this whole merger to happen. Originally, there was a date, sort of a use it or lose it date for the deal, which was the 31st of October 2025. But with this amendment, that deadline is now the 31st of December 2025. So they V-bought themselves an extra couple of months to get everything finalized. Other than this deadline extension, everything else in the deal remains the same. Following up on this extension, the company also put out some news. On the 14th of October 2025, they released a press statement announcing that the closing deadline for this merger had been extended. This is pretty standard practice when you are making such a significant change to a major deal. Now, before we get too excited, every company filing like this has a section that's basically a legal disclaimer. They call them forward-looking statements, and they're meant to signal that while they're sharing their hopes and plans for the future, things might not always work out exactly as they expect. They mention things like potential stock dilution, issues with keeping their stock listed, and even legal battles or intellectual property claims. It's a reminder that the future is uncertain, even for companies in the middle of big deals. This section is essentially telling you where to find more details if you're really digging deep. It references a registration statement filed by Fly Exclusive and a joint proxy statement and prospectus. These documents are packed with important information about the merger, the companies involved, and what shareholders need to know to vote or make investment decisions. They emphasize that investors should read these documents carefully because they contain crucial details. This particular scroll tag points us to Fly Exclusive's registration statement. This is where they're detailing the shares of their own stock that will be exchanged as part of this merger. It is a critical piece of the regulatory puzzle that allows the deal to proceed legally. This part clearly states that this report is not an attempt to get people to buy or sell stock or vote in a certain way regarding the merger. It's a disclosure document, not a sales pitch. Here is where they list the documents that are officially part of this filing. We see the key amendment to the merger agreement itself, the press release about the deadline extension, and a cover page with interactive data. This is the actual document that details the extension of the merger deadline. It's the core piece of new information in this report. And finally, the signature page. This shows who is officially signing off on this report for Jet.AI Incorporated. Here we see George Murnane, who holds the title of Interim Chief Financial Officer, has signed this report. This means the financial and operational aspects of this filing have been reviewed and approved at a high level within the company. Now, let's put on our investor hats and think about what this all means. The big news here is the extension of the merger deadline between Jet.AI Incorporated and Fly Exclusive Incorporated. Why would they need more time? There could be a bunch of reasons. Maybe they're still working through legal hurdles, regulatory approvals, or perhaps the financial terms need a bit more fine-tuning to satisfy everyone involved. When a deadline gets pushed back like this, it can signal a couple of things. On one hand, it shows the parties are committed to getting the deal done and are willing to work through complexities. On the other hand, it can sometimes raise concerns about potential deal breakers or unexpected problems that are slowing things down. While this filing doesn't give us deep dives into financial tables, it is crucial for understanding the company's strategic direction. The fact that they are focused on this merger means that a significant part of their future hinges on its successful completion. Investors should be watching how this merger progresses. If it goes through, it could lead to a much larger, more integrated company with potentially new market opportunities. If it falters, Jet.AI Incorporated might have to reassess its entire strategy, and that could involve difficult decisions. Remember those forward-looking statements we talked about. They're a crucial reminder that this merger, like any major business event, carries inherent risks. They're talking about potential dilution, which means if new shares are issued, your own ownership stake could become a smaller percentage of the company. They're also mentioning listing on the Nasdaq Capital Market, which is usually a good sign of a company's ability to attract investors. But they're also acknowledging the possibility of losing that listing, which would be a big blow. Looking at the broader picture, this extension shows that mergers and acquisitions aren't always quick and clean. They require patience, careful negotiation, and the ability to navigate unforeseen circumstances. The extended timeline gives both companies more breathing room, but it also prolongs the period of uncertainty for shareholders. The key question for investors now is whether this extension is a sign of diligence and a path to a stronger combined entity, or a red flag indicating deeper issues that might ultimately derail the deal. Alright, that is our breakdown of Jet.AI Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on this merger extension? Do you think it's a positive sign of commitment or a cause for concern? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out. And subscribe for more corporate deep dives. Don't forget to check out our Discord community linked in the description, where we discuss these filings and much more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.